Hello everybody, I'm Paula, and I want to talk to you about my favorite book, Мазурка for Two Dead Men by Camilo José Cela. It was chosen by the New York Times as the best book of the year. Paul West, a British-born American writer, says that Cela is Goya of Franco's Spain. It was written in 1983. Cela won the Nobel Prize, so he is the only Galician writer who had reached such a feat. This is an experimental novel. At the time it was written, Franco's regime had fallen, so authors had more freedom to write about topics as sexuality, which is one of the main subjects on this novel. It is considered that this novel is a crowning of a literary style created by Cela, which is called tremendismo, a tendency to emphasize violence and grotesque images. Watching carefully all his literary production, we could appreciate that he had another novel dedicated to Galicia, which is called Madera de Boj, translated to English as Box Good. Meanwhile, the action of Μαζούρκαa happens in Orense and Inner Galicia. Box Good occurs on the Dead Coast. I decided to read it because my mom, as she always does, came to my room with the book in her arms and gave it to me without saying anything else, because it wasn't necessary. The edition that I've got is one of the first of being published, and it belongs to my grandfather. In this novel are related the murder of Baldomero Marvis, Lionhead, and Cidran Segade, committed by Fabian Minghella, and accordingly the revenge of the Gushingas family. As I said before, it occurs in Orense during the Civil War. That zone had a Falangist majority, so a lot of characters belongs to that movement. For example, the martyr Fabian Minghella uses the war as an opportunity to kill some people, shooting them on the back. All characters are connected to each other between sexual and familiar ties. Before the war, Gushinga's clan decided that Fabian must die, and Tanis, which is Baldomero's brother, is the one who had to do it. As Fabian does not belong to the clan, people do not trust him because his family comes from a foreign country. Fabian must die because of the law of the mood, and that law implies the one who kills should be killed as well. Maybe you won't understand the title. First of all, Μαζούρκαa is a Polish folk dance, but what that title, blind Gaudencio Beira works playing accordion on a brothel. He is so talented, although he is blind. There is a special Μαζούρκαa everybody loves, but Gaudencio believes it is cursed because when he plays it, something horrible happens. So, in the whole novel, it is just played twice. I previously mentioned that this is an experimental novel, so it uses different narrative techniques. The novel is narrated as a long inner monologue without stops. There aren't any chapter automatic division. I previously mentioned that this was an experimental novel, so it uses different narrative techniques. The novel is narrated as a long inner monologue without stops. There aren't any chapter or automatic division. The story gathers memories, dialogues, and descriptive moments. Another highlight aspect is the large number of characters. All of them are described one by one, creating an endless parade. The way of describing people is always the same. First of all, name, surname, and nickname are given. Then are told familiar and sexual ties. And finally, all kind of stories, legends, anecdotes, or even cookie recipes are told. There are so many characters that sometimes the plot is completely forgotten. There are just descriptive moments, and you'll think that nothing is happening, but you get to know the characters so much that you would believe you are getting into the story with them. Frequently, you'll find some Galician words, expressions, or proverbs. If you don't speak Galician, it would be difficult to understand. Also, you can try to get some words from the context. Fortunately, there is a little dictionary at the end of the book. Sometimes there are some expressions as shut up, I'm talking, or I'll tell you later who is he, that refers directly to a listener. So it seems that you are that listener and some character are speaking to you. Selva tries to show us the human being on its basic state, driven by sex and death, and tries to show us Galicia too as eternal, unchangeable, and permanent, offering us a reflection of its tradition and society. When I'm reading it, I could see myself reflected there. I could see my village, my family too, my friends. The way the novel is written transmits timelessness, so neither human being would change, nor Galicia would change. To conclude, I would like to read you one of my favorite quotes. Aleia, who is Sidran's wife, says, "The worst is not dying, but knowing that you are going to die. The worst is the mirth it gives folks who live on after you. I could content myself with living one day longer than the dead man, and I've already lived a lot longer than that. What I want now is to see the sea before I die. It must be very beautiful. Crazy God once told me that it is at least bigger than the whole province of Orense. You've got to stick close to the water, and better water than air." Something horrible happens. So it is played describing people is always the same. First of all, ¿se escucha ese frío? Yeah. Before the human being on his basic state. I previously mentioned that this novel that